Hey guys!
Hello everyone!
Welcome back to the channel. We are getting ready for our second market of the year. We did one back in the spring. We're doing one again on November the 1st. It is called the Downtown Monroe Vintage and Antiques Market, if I'm not mistaken. It is on Main Street in Monroe, North Carolina, if you want to come check us out. It is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we'll be there all day. Come out and say hello. We are working on getting our mock setup ready, all the pricing done, and we wanted to show you guys kind of where we're at in the process and talk about our tips and tricks. Exactly. That's exactly what I meant. Tips and tricks for a successful show. Now, we are not experts, so
Comments welcome.
yeah, comments welcome, and take everything with a grain of salt. If you're doing something that works better for you, I am so happy for you.
And just keep doing it. I mean, you do you, because some things that might work for us may not work for you because of your circumstances. So
Take it with a grain of salt, but we just want to share with you what works for us and kind of try to help you out a little bit. So let's get started.
So we thought we would share some of the things that we do that helps us when we go to these fairs, because it's very stressful when you start getting to the deadline of these things. And if you have some things prepared already, that's just gold. Tip number one, keep a dedicated cart or box or some kind of something that you can carry with you that has all your supplies in it. It may be zip ties, scissors, tapes, packing materials, anything you want to put in there that you're going to have need of the day of the show. It could be even things like sunscreen or that kind of stuff. But what do we have in ours? We have
zip ties, hooks, tent weight bags, tent stakes. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
All that kind of stuff. Jennifer has bought us, a double-decker.
Yeah, one of those modular stackable toolboxes. It's not my idea. I saw Amanda's Mercantile had one, and I thought, that is freaking genius, because we had 3 buckets of stuff.
Oh, yeah, and it
in
was hard to
different
carry
places
around.
that said fair supplies. I never knew where anything was. So when
That's in one place.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, for sure. I will take you upstairs and show you what that looks like. Welcome to my storage closet. This is the modular unit that we're talking about. It's got 3 different toolboxes that you can attach and detach. I got this from Walmart. It was the least expensive of the ones that felt pretty good quality. So on this top one is a divided organizer tray, and I have tape and glue, pegboard hooks, more pegboard hooks. These are shower curtain rings to hang stuff from the sides of our tent, hooks and carabiner clips, twine, bungee cords, and zip ties and screws in this one. Then in the second one, we keep anything we would need to set up for the fair. So hooks, one of our banners is in here. Then there are tent weights in here, tent stakes, extension cords, more bungee cords, ropes, lights, easels, things we would need for actual setup. And then in this last one is Clorox wipes, candy, picture frames, our Let's Get Social sign with our QR code for social media, bags, a calculator, business cards, pens, scissors, tape, anything we would need during the actual show. And then the beauty of this thing is we can just take apart or take only the pieces that we need. In order to set up, we'd need this piece and this piece, but the day of the show, we would only need this piece. So these 2 can stay in the car or at home. And I also bought an extra one of these and a smaller organizer, and that has booth stuff in it. So everything can stack, it's all organized. I know where everything is, and I don't have to search through 4 bins to find the things that I need. Tip number 2 in that same vein is pack a booth emergency kit. Anything that could go wrong will go wrong. So tape, scissors, extra bags, extra packing materials. People like to kind of have their stuff packed, especially if they buy glassware or something.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have...
And it just looks so much more professional when you wrap it up and put it in a bag and give it to them. Especially if those bags are labeled.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you have the paper bags, right now we're using plastic bags because we got a screaming deal on them from Amazon. But if somebody buys something little, we have the little white bags with the handle. They're paper, so we can put a sticker on there with our logo on it. We did stamps in the past. We got one of those thermal label makers. I'll link that in the description below, and made a bunch of stickers. So we just stick our label or with our logo on it on the bags, and it helps for branding, and that is important.
Yeah, because people say, where'd I get this? look at the bag. There it is.
Yeah. So they know where they got it. And if they want to look you up on social media, then they go home with that bag so they know what your name is and everything. So that is a helpful tip.
Tip number 3, bring backup bags and packaging, because you may go through more than you think you're going to use. And people like to have their stuff wrapped, especially glassware, like Jennifer said before. You need to have some kind of protective layer in those bags, because they're carrying those things around and swinging them, and you don't want them to get it broke before they get home. But you know, if you run out, you want to have a stash that you can go back to and say, okay, let me resupply my stock out here.
Yeah, especially if you have the box that originally came in. Like, we are going to take some of those Christmas houses with us. We have the box that those came in, so we're going to take those boxes with us. So if somebody buys it, just put it back in the box and keep it protected for them. Because if you have that stuff, bring that stuff with you. I mean, kind of cumbersome because they're big and square and kind of chunky, but
hopefully you will not go home with it.
Yeah, hopefully you will not go home with it. All right, tip number 4 is don't forget creature comforts. Don't forget lunch or snacks, water, anything that's going to keep you comfortable during the day. If it's cold, they got those little space heaters that run off little propane tanks that you can bring. If it's warm, they have the little battery operated clip-on fans that you can bring.
If it's warm and you're in a field, take bug spray.
Yeah, bug spray. We've been known to bring even ant killer, because sometimes we're in a field and we're dead center on an ant hill, and so put that stuff on there when we're setting up. And then
because those little boogers bite.
They do. Yeah. So anything, especially if you're like at a fair by yourself, you're not gonna be able to walk away and go get lunch, or not, at least not easily. Bring that stuff with you, and you don't have to just, I don't sit there and starve. That would be the worst.
Yeah, the more comfortable you are, the friendlier and more engaged you're going to be during the day.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you have yourself taken care of so that you can take care of others. Tip number 5. So we're about to start pricing some of this stuff, but when you're pricing, sometimes you get really attached to stuff. So don't price for your attachment, price for the audience that you're going to be going for.
Yeah.
So
I'm really attached to this book.
I mean, sometimes in the booth we may put a price on something so it won't sell very fast because we want to keep it for display.
Yeah.
We try to keep our feelings out of it, because even though I wanted something, we need to sell it. I mean, if we kept everything we wanted, our house would be overflowing like a hoarder's house.
Yeah.
But you know, and even when you're going to these fairs, you have to know your audience. Make sure that you're pricing the target prices that you need, price that'll sell, because you don't want to bring this stuff home. You want it to go to a good and loving home and not come home with you anymore.
And it'll be easier if you go to the same show a few times, you'll know the audience, and it's easier to price once you know the audience. For us, this is our first time doing this because it's the first one of this type of, or this certain show, so
a little bit at a disadvantage.
Yeah, a little bit of a disadvantage, but
we always try to price fair. I think.
Yeah.
That's tip number 5. Was it 5?
Yeah, 5. Yeah. All right. So tip number 6 is use consistent readable tags, preferably with your logo on them. Like, here's our tag. It says Wild Honeysuckle. It's got our social media on it, and we will attach these to our items. We'll use the Nimbot with the thermal labels in it.
Their phone.
Yeah, and the phone. We'll make labels for each of these tags. I think I've showed you guys this before. I'll link it down in the description if you're interested. And we have like a little strategy just for ourselves where we price things in even numbers that go to a fair, and then 95 cents to go to the booth. So we know
where they started out at.
Where they started out of. They first went to a fair. If they went to the booth, they went straight to the booth. And that also helps with working with whole numbers while you're actually at a fair. I mean, it's different when, like, for us as a vintage vendor, you have a ton of different stuff you're selling. Like if you're selling t-shirts or magnets or stuff like that, or tumblers, like you have a set price and you have consistent signage for that thing. But like for us, we don't have 2 of anything. Rarely do we have 2 of anything. Having consistent tags and signage is key.
Another strategy that we use is we include the tags in our price.
Yeah.
So when you come up to us to pay, it's not going to be 24 plus tax. It's just 24 because we've already figured in how much tax is going to be in that and how much we want for it, and then we just bring in a whole number.
Yeah. It just makes it overall much easier when we're at the fair to take money. And I mean, if everyone used a credit card,
it'll be okay.
Tax would be fine. But when people are paying in cash, and a lot of the shows we do are predominantly cash, then it makes it easier just to pack that in there.
Tip number 7, like Jennifer was saying, we rarely have 2 of anything. So keeping an inventory list is vital, because if nothing else, you want to guard against theft.
Yeah, you want to know what you came with and what you leave with.
You want to know what you sold. If you don't know what you came with, you can't know what you sold. And also the thing we also do is we take the tag off of it and keep the tag, so that we know we can say, okay, out of our inventory list of what we took, this is what we sold according to the inventory list, but here's the tags that do they add up to the same amount, because that tells us if anything's missing and if we've had any theft. I mean, I hate to think about it, but it's a reality.
Yeah. Well, we also can compare the money we have against what we think we should have, and then that tells us that everything is good. But
because we're not real good with math. Sometimes we add up things wrong, but we just want to make sure.
I'm sure people still speak of the deals they've gotten from us because our math skills are not great.
We do the best we can.
Yep. Tip number 8 is bundle or group smalls. On that same vein of we don't usually have more than 2 of anything, sometimes we do have a lot of like postcards or like small things that every single one doesn't need a price. So if you can bundle or group, like we sold postcards 10 for $1, it just makes it easier to get rid of those things in bulk, and then you're not pricing 100 postcards. You're only pricing 10 packs of postcards.
And inventory and all that.
Yeah, inventory and all that, and putting that into your spreadsheet. It saves on time. People want to feel like they're getting a deal because they're getting more for probably less than if they had bought it onesie twosies.
Right. Tip number 9 is set up your booth at home first, because you're going to go to that fair that day, and like this fair we're going to, we have to get there at 6:30, so you're not going to have time to think about displaying and how to display. You just want to be able to go in there and say, okay, here are the pictures, let me set up.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We set it up at home, take the pictures, and then we have those references for when we go to the fair, and it makes it much quicker to set up. We can set up in an hour sometimes if we have good pictures. Sometimes I don't take them.
Yeah, first things first though is I go into Procreate and draw a scale drawing of our booth, whether it's 10 by 10, 10 by 20, and then I can move stuff around the tables, the layout, because we have never done, except for Weapons Roost where we're consistently in a 10 by 20, we've never done like multiple shows with the same setup.
No.
So it's easier when you first start out to have those 10 by 10 drawings. If anybody is interested, we do have on our Etsy store a digital download of a craft show planner, and it does have in there like little 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 boxes that you can draw on. It's not the same as moving it around digitally, but worst case, it will help you by planning stuff before you're actually in the process of planning stuff. Mm-hmm. Tip number 7?
No. 10.
Oh, 10. Okay. Tip number 10 is create height and layers. Also, in that same digital download, there are pictures of tables that you can draw, kind of like, I've got this piece and it's this high, or this piece and it's this high. It'll actually give you kind of like a little visualization of what your tables could look like. But let me show you an example of this. All right. So the first thing we've done is we've laid out everything on the table that we think we're going to take. We have these 2 6-foot tables, and then also this circular table, and then we have the dress form that we're still working on. Then we want to look at the color story that we're creating, and for this one it's kind of woods, greens, reds, creams, that kind of stuff. Then we're going to go through as a second pass and figure out things that don't go with that color story, like this guy right here, he's got to go, he's purple. And next we're going to create our like setup. We always start with what we're calling like hero pieces. So like we need height and we need levels and we need layers to make the setup kind of look good. So we're going to get these big pieces situated first. I think this one right now is the only one that we know that's where that one's going, because it's going to create kind of a triangle for your eye to follow. That guy needs to be moved. But then like here, you see it goes from the height of this ladder to here, to this box, down to this box. So we have like the taller back layer and then the shorter front layer where a lot of the smalls are going to go.
Moving on, tip number 11. Think of your booth or your stand or whatever it is, your vendor area, as a mini shop. You're going to make sure that you have plenty of room for people to move around and discover things. You know, you want to have multiple ways for people to to get to things. I mean, you don't want to be closing off one end of your shop so that they have to come all the way into the back to see anything. You want to make sure they have breathing area.
Yeah, you don't want to create like a bottleneck.
Yeah.
I mean, the first fair we ever did, we showed up, we had a 10 by 20 space, and we were lengthways, and we weren't expecting to be set up that way. So our like mock setup, completely wrong. So we were set up this way, and our opening was on the short end. So we created
a huge bottleneck.
Quite the bottleneck. Once people came in, if people walked by and saw that it was full, they just kept on walking, and that is not what you want. So you kind of want to be fluid with your ideas, because like we did vintage market days and we got on a corner. We didn't pay for a corner, so we had the opportunity to open it up for two sides, two traffic patterns, and that really helped. So kind of be fluid.
And just like in any good shop or vendor booth, you want to make sure that your displays are grouped by color or by theme, some kind of grouping that makes sense to people so that they kind of get an idea. You want little vignettes where it looks, it shows them how they could use that piece in their home, that kind of thing. Because people sometimes have a hard time visualizing what they could do with it. And if you give them an idea,
especially if they don't know what it is.
Right.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people pick something up and go, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Like, well, I think it's.
Yeah. And you could use it like this. Yeah. So it just gives them good ideas, and it maybe make the difference between a sale or not a sale.
Yeah. Tip number 12 is to add personality and brand touches. We have had everything from a round sign with our logo on it that we kind of hang over the edge. We've had banners in the back. We've had banners on the tables. We have a banner that you may have seen at the spring show that says
old things have a soul.
Old things have a soul. Love to tell a story, or
unique story to tell.
Yeah, something like that.
You don't know how many times people have wanted to buy that thing.
Yeah. So just, you want to create like visual cues for people about what you sell, even if it's the banner on the front that says your name and your logo and what you sell. You want to bring those people in, even if they see your booth from far away, that they want to be like, oh, I'm going to go over there and go into that booth. That also extends to, like, we did a spring show and we had planters. Fill those with plants, because it just brings life and energy to your booth, and it makes it more interesting. We had a candy bowl one year. Just bring in little touches that extends also to your tags with your branding on them. Like if you can put branding on it, because it's going to equate to social media presence. It's going to equate to people recognizing you at the mall.
And the closer they are to being able to recognize you and having good feelings about you, the more they're going to be loyal and want to buy from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Tip number 13, engage but don't hover. So when people come into the booth, make sure you greet them, you smile at them, engage in a little small talk if they're accepting for it. Some people don't want to talk, they just want to look.
Yeah.
But don't follow them around and watch and try to sell every little thing they pick up.
Yeah.
Just let them look, let them breathe, discover what you've got. And if they have questions, be available to answer them. And, just be friendly, but don't be overbearing.
Yeah. Sometimes we say, if you have any questions, let us know, or happy Saturday,
or just hello, having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Yeah. All right. We kind of touched on this a little earlier, but tip 14 is have a clear pricing system. So if you are one that does something in mass, something handmade, tumblers, or something like t-shirts, something that you're doing in mass, and you can make one big sign for everything, do it.
Good for you.
Yeah. I'm happy for you. Yeah. But like everything for us, everything has a tag, and we tag it as though it's going to the booth, because if it doesn't sell at the market, it is going to the booth, and we don't want to have to reprice everything. So
we played that game for a little while.
Yeah, that is.
And it does not work.
No, it does not work. You're double pricing everything. You're making twice as much work for yourself. So we price it as if it was going to the booth, and the people don't go home with the tags anyway because we take them.
Yeah.
So we will price it accordingly, try to make it as clear as possible while still putting those things on there that our mall requires of us to have on the tag. But just make sure it's clear and precise as possible.
It's not a good experience for the buyer, and it's not a good experience for you if there's a lot of argument about what's priced what.
Yeah.
So
or if you have to ask.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times we will go into a booth at, like, say, the Pickers Festival. If it's not priced, I'm not asking. No. I'm just gonna assume it's out of my price range and leave.
Yeah, I mean, they call it the Pickers Festival being scared, but it's not really being scared. It's just, I don't want to have to come up to you and pick up, and everything I pick up in the booth, what's this price? What's this price? price.
Yeah.
It's just not a good experience.
Yeah.
Not a good buying experience.
Just make it easier on people and price everything.
Tip 15, be ready for any kind of payment that they want to give you. If you only take certain things, make sure you post that predominantly so that people can see it and they know without asking what you accept. If you know Cash App or Venmo or PayPal or Apple Pay, whatever you take, just make sure that that's posted somewhere where people can see it and it's clear.
Especially if there's any added fees. If you say, I'll take a credit card, but I have to add a 3% fee, just make sure people know that up front, because that might help and make their decisions about how they choose to pay.
Right.
Tip 16 is take notes during the event. It might help you, like say, you're at an event and you're going to do that event again. Just take notes about what the customer was like, what you sold, just observations. It's going to, because in a month I'm going to forget.
You're going to forget. And another thing is kind of notice what they're bringing in, what they've bought, because that can show some kind of buying trends that you may want to transfer to any other place you sell. You may have 2 or 3 shows in a row, and this show might give you a tip to what to sell in the next show that you can make more money.
True. Yeah, and on that same vein, if people are asking for something, do you have whatever, then well, I need to start looking for that kind of stuff, because if they're asking for it, then they're interested in purchasing it. So
yeah, we were at the booth the other day and somebody was asking for postcards. Well, we had postcards, but it was evidently not the postcards he wanted.
Yeah.
So what are those postcards? Do we need to start looking for those and source them so that we can sell them? Is that a big item? Is that a big seller right now?
Yeah. And if you have that in your notes, then you'll know for next time. All right, guys, that is all for us for this week. I hope you enjoyed our little tips and tricks for vintage markets, and actually just markets in general.
Yeah, let us know what you do, because some of these things we still struggle with. So if you have some good tips, we would really appreciate them.
Yeah, let us know down in the comments below. And also, we probably will have more of our setup process for the Monroe Vintage Market. It'll probably just be in future videos. Editing Jennifer breaking in here. I just wanted to say, don't listen to what I just said in this video, because the next video will be the actual fair. So this is what we've got for the current setup. We still have a few places that need to be reworked and added some stuff. And then we have over here, this guy still needs an outfit. And then I need some more stuff for this, and obviously some ornaments for the tree. But this is what we're currently working with. And this is the last sneak peek you will see of what we're taking before you see the next video is the fair. If you guys want to come check us out, it's November the 1st, Saturday from 9 to 5 in Monroe, North Carolina. We are still in the pricing and mock setup phase, so be on the lookout for more of that content, and we will definitely bring you along for market day, and probably the setup and the market day all the same, because we have to be there at 6:15 to set up for an all-day event. So that should be a fun video. Be on the lookout for that. But we thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Bye.